Всем привет! С вами Катя Травинская, куратор направления дизайн среды в Skillbox. И сегодня у нас очередной полезный и, надеюсь, приятный вечер в компании Хорге Переса, директора инновационного центра E+ED Lab, профессора IED Барселона, который нам расскажет об инновациях и о том, как соединять их. На самом деле очень актуальная сейчас тема о том, как виртуальное соединяется с аналоговым в нашей жизни и что дизайнерам с этим делать. So now прошу прощения, я перехожу на английский язык. Вам будет переводить переводчик. Now I'm switching into English. Sorry, I spoke too much Russian. So I'll again introduce Jorge Perez, who is Director of Innovational Center IE plus ED Lab and Professor of IED Barcelona. And just some housekeeping first. So we have two streams for our lecture today. One is in English and one is in Russian. Please join our official streaming page, live.skillbox.ru. So we will be reading all the comments and questions there, mostly on Russian version, but we will also try to keep our eye on the English version as well. So please post your comments and questions there. We will try to monitor YouTube, but sorry, it will be too much pages. So please switch on to live Skillbox. Also, let's say hello to Jorge, and then we will
hello.
Also, hey Jorge, how are you today?
Good. It's a good weather day in Barcelona, so ready for interact with the other side of Europe.
Okay, it's not so sunny and nice in Moscow, so I hope that we have a lot of viewers today because of that also, but not also because of this, but also because of the exciting topic. So let's just let's tell a few words about the homework we are planning to give to our viewers today, and just a little teaser for you. At the end of the lecture, we will repeat it, and also you will get it on your emails. But Jorge, could you please share this slide with us?
Yeah.
We already did this last month when we had an exciting lecture from ID. Yeah, here it is. So if you want to be interactive and to have some feedback on how you understood what this lecture was about, maybe on your work also, we suggest that you create a mood board and post it on Instagram. And please sign to our official pages of ID Official and Skillbox.ru. And if you put all our hashtags that you see now on the screen, but we'll also post everything in the chat and on your email. So don't be afraid that you will lose it. So if you post your mood boards on Instagram and follow all these rules, we will review your mood boards and you will receive our feedback and also a certificate from ID on attendance of this lecture, which is, I think, a nice artifact to have for every designer. So we will, if you have any questions, please post it on our live Skillbox page. But that's actually, I think that is all about this homework for now. We will return in the end. We're looking forward to receiving your questions, to your feedback on our chat page. And now, please welcome Jorge and have a great, useful, insightful evening, everyone.
Okay, so before I share my screen, just to interact in this virtual and real world, as is called the conference, Innovation for the Future. I will have here my phone with the chat in English open, so I would love that if you can answer me some questions or some things that I will try to provoke you, motivate you. I will read it here, so it will help me to feel that I'm not alone, because I'm not alone. We are a lot of people, and this is the new situation. So, okay, let's see. 1 second, I open this. Perfect. So now I share my screen. And let's begin the conference. 1 second. Okay, Control L. Okay. So as I said, let's talk about innovation of the future. And the first thing that I talk about innovation of the future is that usually in past, innovation have been always the symbol versus, as you can see on the left, no? Here. What means versus for me? That was the 20th century. Respect the 21st century, that especially now, but in 2020, I think is finally we've been coming to the 21st century 100%, is this symbol. The difference between versus and. In past innovation have isn't always a versus, no? Was kind of, as you can see, something really futurist, that at the same time was canceled in the past. It was kind of against, no? The past against the future. The analogic versus the digital. No, the future, the innovation of the future is in digital. And somebody will say, no, but don't forget the analogic. And in a certain way, it was a utopic situation, as you can see on the left side. Why? Because something that is not able to integrate, combine the things before us, will not integrate even the people that will become later after us. So some of you, I'm sure you are young, 20s, 25. How we can integrate our papas, daddies, grandpas, and how we can interact our sons in the future. So I think that more and more we need to talk about what I call futurable. No, as here you can see, there is a future. I call the future that is able, that is possible to happen. For that reason, I recreate this word and this idea of join future with past. Do it together. Let's do past together with future. Let's make future together with the past. And always thinking about make it possible. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about possible and how we innovate in ID. One of the first things that we create is this deflector. Okay. And then in fact, if you want, I will show you later a version that is interactive and in internet on the web. Then at the same time, that is visual and how we use it. As you can see here, we make this instrument where we integrate certain fields, okay, and certain macro trends. Okay, for us there are these 6 big macro trends. Then I will go more specific to each one. I will put you some examples about innovations related with those, with climate change, with demographic, with business volatility, hyperconnectivity, and those things. For us, these are the macro trends. But before that, it's important to understand where these trends act. Okay, and sometimes if you are, some of you are graphic designers, motion graphics, or digital designers. Sometimes we forget some of these parts, no? So because these trends are applying in the environment, in a population, in a certain society, for a certain cultures. Of course, Russian culture is not the same one as Spanish culture, but at the same time, we have a common culture is completely different to Chinese culture. Technologies, of course, these trends are through technology and market. Okay, so as you can see, then at the same time, there are different kinds of designs, and on purpose, I've been putting certain names that are not as the careers that you've been studying or you are studying right now, or the courses that you're studying in Skillbox. Because we are here, I'm not talking about graphic designer, interior designer, web designers, pro designer. I'm talking about another aspect of design, no? Design for the sustainability, design for the new business models, design for the smart media and text, design for culture complexity, design for social impact, and design for humans. Because I put you an example, and I would love if somebody answered me at the end. Somebody knows what I've been studying as a designer? Let's see during the process if you can know. Because sometimes at the end you're in the field of design. So sometimes we forget that outside there are engineers, there are business people that maybe they don't know the difference between motion graphics designer and event ephemeral space designer, web designer. At the end, they understand that design gives the values. So these are the values in terms of these macro fields that we think. Okay, I will try to make you think about the formats and the different aspects design going farther than your normal experience. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to see some examples of trends. Okay, I will put you just, and as you see, as I said, let's talk about the end. Okay, so I will put you just 3 examples. are not from ID on purpose. Okay, and I want to show you some videos about. So the first thing I propose you is to know if somebody knows what is this car. Of course, you can recognize the name, the company, no? But somebody knows what is the name of this car? Some good examples is a name of a female car. They call it female. And let's see in the chat if somebody wants to answer. But I will put you the video about him because this car I think is really important to see in your environment, that is online. So let's see this video. Look, this effect is a wow moment, no? You see those doors? Looks like a solid car, but it's not solid car. You see? I recommend you to see these videos. Hello? Okay. What? Hello? Let's see another part of the video, for example. These are the parts of the lights. I like a lot this part of the video. Okay? Yes? Okay, so 1 second. Better now? Hello? Is okay now or not? You can see now the video? I keep going with the presentation. Okay, so I hope there was some problem. Okay, let's do it the video again. Okay, perfect. I will show you again. I hope now it's working. This is an example of a solid trend, no? You can see a solid car should be a solid car, but suddenly it's a soft car. You see these lovely doors. That shows you that the cover of the car is a flexible material. And the nicest thing about this car is that has more than 10 years and never has been presented physically in a shop or in a fair. The first time it was presented was through YouTube. This video is from 2006, 2007. So imagine how old it is already. It's older than some of your younger brothers. It's kind of from the prehistorics, no, of YouTube. And the interesting thing about this video, you can see a lot of parts. I recommend you to see all the video. Look how you can see when opens the car, okay? To open the motor, or some parts that are really interesting, as you can see here, no? I think it's a wow moment, no? Look how loud looks solid, as it to be. Or the lights. That's another incredible moment because the lights suddenly can be behind a textile. So you can play a lot of things. You can show the lights when they are on, but when they are not, there are no lights. So in a certain way, it's real, it's virtual, because suddenly you don't see the lights. Something like this, I think, is really interesting to show you that innovation can come from whatever side. And the most important thing, this has been the reference to change the whole BMW brand. Okay, let's keep going with the presentation. I recommend you to see all the video, but let's see, keep going. Other examples. So as I said, this is a solid car, this is a soft car. Well, it's together. It's joining the past of BMW design with the future of BMW design. Another thing, what is this? Well, in a certain way, it looks technological, no? I don't know if somebody has seen this. Looks like pixels, no? In fact, there are pixels. But at the same time, what is this? It's sushi, the most traditional food. In fact, imagine it's almost 2,000 years old, the sushi. So the idea of technology and handcraft together is another way that is interesting. It's not anymore a versus, it's not more against, it's together. So let's see another example of a small part of the video that I would like to show you. This is a news, okay, from internet. Let's see it. And let's see the translation. It's a startup that is producing just sushi. But how they are producing sushi? Well, they are producing through a 3D printer. It's food. So it's something really physical, but at the same time, it's really digital. At the same time, is who designed this, a cooker or a 3D designer? Well, together, okay? And that's an example. And imagine the level of personalization. You can do the sushi for your girlfriend, for your wife, for your mom, for a birthday party, okay? As you can see, there is different examples to try to show you how you can open your point. And this Labo. How many of you have been playing with a Nintendo? I guess so many of you. I would like to show you Labo. I don't know if you know. I recommend you, if you have a young brother around 8, 10 years, I'm sure they will love. And let's see, because if we talk about Nintendo, the funny thing is that should be that you see all the applications that you can do. For that reason, I'm going to all day interact between webs, YouTubes, videos to make more dynamic. You see, it's really nice, this image. No, I mean, you have your Nintendo here, but at the same time, you're having pieces of cardboard, folding, fixing pieces. You see? And the nicest thing that I love about this is how is the video. It's a machine. Imagine, I mean, this is the typical machine that you see in a factory, no, in a physical factory. This is how they produce furnitures, packagings. But at the same time, we are talking about a virtual, a digital game. Why? Because it's together. It's not anymore. I love the wood games. No, the traditional games. No, I love the thing, do it by hand. No, I love Nintendo. I hate the other one. Used to be a fight. No, it's not anymore. You see? Why we don't do it together? Let's have a piano, physical piano of cardboard, that then you interact your pieces. And the interesting thing about this innovation is who is going to design this? Well, a team. We need to design together. It's not anymore that a game designer play virtual games and designer work alone. You need here a lot of people together. Packaging designers, product designers, animation designers, interactive designers, UX designers. You see? So I think that's one of the most important and interesting things about the future, that is not anymore versus. No, you see, this is kind of a robot that you've been building. Suddenly you're having augmented reality. So suddenly when you pass with something, interact in front of your screen. You see? And this is the most incredible. This is a robot. I'm a robot. Wow, I can be a robot? Of course, with a simple piece of cardboard. You see? So I think I will not pass all the videos. I give you then the time to keep going, seeing, watching. But that's something that I'm trying to show you. No? So with this idea of I hope has been clear about all this part of the first part of the conference about what is a futurist and what is a futurable. Those are examples of futurable things. These are together, are not canceling. No? It's not anymore about eat, for example, the pills of astronauts that are canceling all the story of food of humans. Maybe astronauts can eat sushis. I'm sure they will be happier than eat just a pill. You understand the point there? Because behind will be a tech designer, engineer maybe, but a cooker at the same time, designing the food. Okay? And now, as you see on the top, I will put you some of the examples about these big macro trends that we was talking before. Okay, those ones. We will go in order. So we will begin here, and then we will go going one by one. So let's go. And here is more about projects that we've been developing. Okay. So how some examples about the trend of population aging and demographic boom. In Europe, for example, there is a big problem of population aging. More and more, the people is older and older. And in other parts of the world, in India, there are demographic booms. So there are two extremes, but are about the same thing. So, for example, we've been working a lot about population aging and how we can help our grandmas. Okay? Examples we've been doing. This one, I love it, is, I don't know you, but when an old person like Carmen, that you see here, falls on the floor, it's easy that she breaks his wrist, she breaks some the bones, and will be difficult that she returns to be 100%. So what we've been designing is a skirt that have airbags in the sides and have a sensor. Why have a sensor? Because when she will make a certain movement that we've been studying with engineers, that we know that after 1 second or 2 seconds, she will fall on the floor. Before she falls, the airbags pump it up. So suddenly, when she will fall, at least she will not break this wrist. Maybe she fall and then the head hit, but it's a second hit and it's less important than the first one. Another example that we love it. We did this for Roca. It's one of the biggest companies of bathroom products. And why I show you this slide? Because it's a contest. It's another way how you can have a client as a young designer. Sometimes you have a direct client, a real client in front of you, but sometimes you have a virtual client that is a contest. So we participate in a contest. It's called Steal You. Jump the Gap by Roca. More than 600 projects, and there was only possible to send 3 panels. And this is one of the panels that we sent. The first one. Imagine the first one. We was talking about. This is Carmen. Carmen is a retired marketing director. She enjoys strong coffee, does most of her shopping online, and loves the portability of the new technology. Carmen suffers from arthrosis. I don't know if you know, but arthrosis is a problem of bones. And this is what the market offers. You think that cool, trendy grandma, that I'm sure all of you will love to have it, that have an iPad, you see, the iPad she buy, because she loves that. Suddenly the bathroom, this is her bathroom. No? A constant reminder of her illness. She don't want to feel ill. She wants to feel young, interactive, connect with the 21st century. So the basically thing what we did is redesign this object, that there was nothing in the market to show this. This is the bathroom that we proposed to her. She needs an armrest, of course. These are the armrests on the top, and a little bit higher. Of course, it's a little bit higher than normal one. So that's the way to design, to interact. This is an interior design. This is a product design. Well, this is a human design. This is a UX design at the same time. Let's put another examples of aging, as I was saying, population aging. And I love this to show you too. This is, for example, an art director that has been working in advertising for more than 25 years. And now he is retired. He's been working a lot with video making, animations, even Flash. And when he retired as a graphic designer, art director, he has begun to do analogic robots. He sells on the internet. It's called Bossa Robots. I really recommend you. He's one of he's a good friend, and I like because he's been recycling. So he's talking even about recycling. No, these are pieces of he goes to different places to take pieces from cars, as you can see, and he transforming robots and he tried to give a visual. And so this is product, this is graphic, this is animation. Okay, let's keep going. Yes? Okay, thank you. Other examples about rapid urbanization and alternative energies. Okay? This I ask you, this is real or not real? Looks like virtual, or you think this building exists? Some people have been asking me, I'm not sure. Yeah, because more and more virtual and real, virtual and physical, is not easy to make a difference. This is a real building existing in Milan, okay? And the nicest thing is that in this building is not anymore about only humans living in the building. In fact, it's called Bosco Verticale, and it's from Stefano Boeri, as an architect. And finally here, the UX experience is kind of a user experience. Here there are two user experiences: the humans that live in this building and the trees that live in this building, because there are big trees here, so they need enough space, they are heavy, so you need to design the building for both, and both are as important as the other one, so they are together, okay? Other examples that we've been doing in Barcelona, a solar bus stop to stop. So the bus stops in Barcelona, some of them we've been designing from young design from idea, and right now are in real in the streets of Barcelona, more than 100. And these young designers, imagine, has been doing entrepreneurship inside of an entrepreneur project inside of a company called Capmar. Other example, we've been doing a Volta motorbike. Okay, but let's keep going. And then if somebody's interested about this project, I have videos and these more things that I can show you. Okay, the interesting thing about this team, it was 3 designers: a graphic designer, a product designer, and a transportation designer. And the funny thing is that the leader of the team was a graphic designer, because at the end, a motorbike in movement is just a frame. So if you design a really nice frame, then when it moves, you are a better designer. In compare of some people that don't have the culture of things on movement, I call the button play designers, okay? And what we did is there was 2 teams. One that was doing a physical motorbike, as you see here, another one that was doing the render, a 3-dimensional one. And some people would say, no, but how you will pass? That's nice now. Everything can be back and forth. So what we did is make the physical object, and then with this machine, it's called inverse engineering. We scan. So when we scan, this was coming outside in the computer directly. So imagine from a physical thing with a scanner, suddenly comes to the file that you have here. So you can integrate physical and virtual, real and physical, analogic and digital, to make a better project as this one, okay? And let's come another thing, business volatility and governance system crisis. This is a part that maybe you don't like it, but if I told you that maybe in the future you are a design manager, you need to manage a team of people, or maybe you want to be an entrepreneur and you need to manage a company. Look, I've been doing these workshops from the last 8 years with companies. And the funny thing, you know what happens, that in March, there was a pandemic. And I have a meeting to do with a company to make a consultancy in Colombia. I was not able to travel. How I can manage this? Well, changing from physical and real Playmobiles and Legos, that this is what I've been doing for them usually, to virtual formats. These are, I don't know if you know, Miro. I've been using Miro for the last 6 months a lot to do the same exercise that I was doing with the companies, instead to physical and real or analogic, into more digital things. These are examples, okay? You see here the logo of Miro. I'm sure you've been working. So the Post-its and the Playmobiles and the Legos, instead to be physical, are digital, as you see here. And that's something important. Designers, we can give a lot for companies. It's not anymore about only managers and MBAs or business people. Visual and graphic and designers, we can give a lot, okay? And this is an example of, for example, how we help from the E+Z lab. We call the Start Lab. We have a lab for entrepreneurs. How we can help young people like you to be entrepreneur. This is an exercise we've been doing with our techniques of, it's called life cycle innovation, for these young alumni from ID that he produced Tinami. I will show you only the web, but then we will return back. So I will not go This is the web, okay? Then we can, and the nice thing is that you can personalize. Hello, everyone again. There was a small problem with YouTube. In fact, no skill box or ID involved here, but because we are together through the complexity of internet, there was small problems. Let's return to the point where we were seeing. You remember we were seeing this part, and then we can return back. But I was talking about the hyperconnectivity and the new materials technology adoption. I was talking about banks. The banks are really funny things, no? There was 100 years ago, they was looking more like a jail. I don't know if you remember these Western images where there was a kind of a jail with bars, no? And there was the guy inside scared. But now this is the bank that we almost everyone we use to send money, to make things. And we were doing this project really interesting called the Bank of the Future. And we was acting and working with BBVA and Banco Santander. There are two big banks of the world, no? But can be whatever one. And when we asked them how they imagine and how they was working about the Bank of the Future physical, because this is the virtual.
Опять YouTube. Yeah, we can continue, Jorge.
Okay. So let's come back. Oh, sorry. Let's share the screen. So let's return. As I was saying, this is the virtual banks, no? But how are the real banks? These are our, in a certain way, these are our real day by day at home bank, because the bank more and more is at home. But sometimes we go to the real physical street bank. And when we ask the banks how they imagine the future of the banks, they imagine this. And for me, it's really sad. I don't know for you. These are images from internet. You can put the bank of the future from your bank, and you imagine that they've been working and expending a lot of money how to do it. But you know what I feel? They didn't understood what means design for humans. You imagine, as Katerina was saying today that is cold in Moscow, that you need to do something because you need help, and suddenly this doesn't work. So you need to go physically, put your coat, your boots, go outside that is cold, go to a bank where suddenly when you open the door, there are screens. There is nobody there. Or as you can see downstairs, there is a big screen there and sits to wait. But there's no people. Are we sure that we want this as that future of the bank? At that point, we don't want to go to this place. So for example, what we was doing is propose this to the bank. And we was making a trick, because bank in Spanish is the same word for bench. So bank and bench is the same thing. So what we propose them is, at that point, why you don't do in the middle of the streets, especially when there is a good weather, parks like this one, where the people can sit. Here, there will be incredible connections and security Wi-Fi's. So this guy suddenly is using the bank. And maybe there is a person here around from the bank, just in case you need help, he can help you, but in a really informal way. So it will be the city with this, but together through a person. It's not this, it's this with this. So that was an example that we've been working for them. Other examples that we've been doing from ID, okay? This is not a sign. This is a project for wearable technologies and for bikes. And what I want to show you is another video now about how for us is the future. Look, this is what we designed for a company that design bikes, different options, okay? Is a jacket where you can interact and you can, and I will show you just this part of the video that I think can be nice for you. Is in an incubator presentation, a young student was presenting how it works. The girl on the left is a graphic designer. The girl on the right is a fashion designer. The interaction and to working together, and if you like it, that's my bike, because I said the girls, you need a bike to put the environment. You see that the jacket, they were showing how works the blinker. Is a blinker jacket, okay, to put turn right and turn left in the bike. Let's keep going. So you can imagine that's an example. Another example of standardization and personalization, no? That is what we call another aspect of a trend. We need to standardize to make more cheaper products, like low cost and those things, or we need to personalize products to make it more individual. This is an example about glasses. I'm sure some of you have glasses. We've been doing a project about glasses. And the nice thing about this is we've been designing different designs, as you can see here. Then we put in Facebook and in the physical shops a contest to receive the votes of which ones was the favorite ones that people like it. When they choose between more than 25, 30 designs, the 8 ones that they like it, we produce in digital production, okay? Of course, then we did the campaigns, the photographs, and everything. These are the different models. Okay. And then we make a limited edition to sell. Okay. And then we return back to the shops to make a window. You see, this is a real window in Madrid. We put the collections and the explanation and the pictures again. We make a small window inside of the shop, putting 3D printers to show how are produced those glasses. Okay. And then, of course, with the help of the real clients and online clients, even we was given as prizes for and presented in the shop. So you can see virtual, real, interior, product, photography, graphic, everything together again. That's another example. This is another project that has been done last year, really recent. And the nice thing is to explain you which was the client. The client was to explain you the complexity, okay? This is let's call a webcam or a dash cam. And the most interesting thing is that the real client is this, NEN. It's a company that works in big data, in data. So why they want to interact with us? They are like one of those hype companies that they don't have products. Well, they realize that to make the autonomous car, they need data, but they need record. But they don't have cameras and they don't know how to do it. So they was working with Volkswagen and they decided to do a new project. The new project is called Kokuna, a video camera that will not have even a button, a video camera that you will manage from your smartphone. And then all the videos will go to the cloud, so you don't have anything in your camera, okay? But you see, everything works through the phone. But of course, at the end, they need a physical camera too. So suddenly, a big data company with a web, with a app company, part of the company, they decide to do a new company called Kubi to redesign the camera. And it's where we was interacting with them. And this is what we did for them, you see? So we was doing prototypes to put in the car, doing versions for the people in the streets. So it was wearable design, product design, visual design, then personalization. So the cover permits you to have million options, different options. And all this is, imagine, it's not ready in the market. It's ideation, validation, and prototyping. You see, this is the beginning until the end of the project that is here. And I recommend you to see the videos if you want, but I will pass later if you want, if you are more interested about this. And even UX, you see, we call UX video, Kubi, to show how it's used, okay? If then we have time, we will return back to this. Other example, this is an app we designed for Sonar. And here I'm sure begins the clients that you love more. Sonar is an advanced music festival in Barcelona, older than more than 20 years old. And again, the nice thing about this application we designed is that it's virtual, it's an app, but at the same time it's physical. It's kind of this analogic and physical, like a Labo you saw before. Let's see a little bit, trying to explain it a little bit easier to how it's. Basically, it's a connector. This is 3 years old or 4, so even now there already exist applications, is to share music. So if you connect all your phones, all of you have speakers. So if you put all together and you make an amplifier, an analogic physical amplifier, suddenly you will have a lot of sound, okay? So as you can imagine, see, they win to be physically in the Sonar. It was presented in the project. There is a VIP version, there is a more cheap one. There are the 3 students. There is a graphic designer, video designer, and web designer showing physically their project, okay? Okay, and the same thing. Then you can see the different videos about interface, how you interact, even the story that is behind, okay? So how this basically works is suddenly can be an invitation, sorry. You see, that's an invitation, and suddenly this guy will find the girl in a disco because all of them, they are in the disco listening the music that is played by the DJ, but at the same time amplifying the sound. And if they don't like the music from the DJ, they will put the music down because they have the power from the phones to integrate. So it's not anymore about the DJ ego against the others. No, they are together working together and having fun together. Last project, again, is for a festival of music. And basically, the idea was how we can make a sustainable festival in terms of the climate change crisis. And this is really funny because if I put you a small video now, I'm sure some of you have been in a festival, okay? So imagine in a festival of music, you produce more than 8 tons of plastic and glasses and plastic bottles. What we propose is, what do you think if we make these big trashes where you put all the trash inside during the process of the festival? And at the end of the day, that you've been producing a lot of trash, you are really tired and you want to sit. But if at the beginning of the festival they put seats, you don't want it because we'll be in the middle. So in the process of a festival, during the day, you fill the trash, and at the end of the day, when it's filled, we put this cover and suddenly transform in a chill out, where you sit on the top of the trash that is inside, and you can share all the pictures and all the things that you've been doing. In fact, in this stick, there is a Wi-Fi antenna that helps you to share the contents, the videos, to Instagram, to Facebook, to all the social points, sitting in the trash. For that reason, it's called retrash. And the last image that I would like to share with you, always in terms of climate change. The guy on the left is in Africa. The guy on the right side is a student from Barcelona. They was together in a trip we call African Route, and there was a workshop about what young designers can do with all fish boats that for the climate change are in crisis, and there are no more fishes in the coast of Africa. So what we can do with these amazing boats that are being destroyed without do anything with them? Well, this young guy proposed, and this is just a provocative one, but this young design redesigned with this material on the left a skateboard. You can see, so at the end, this skateboard is made of these boats. And at the end is what is called the life cycle, okay? And I like that to show you because imagine, I mean, how many of you are not skating and has been skating in the past or is skating right now? So even climate change can be from global to local, from something really traditional, as you see on the left, to something as used and as present as future as the skateboard. With this, I finish. So, spasiba, gracias, grazie mille, thank you very much, obrigado, muito obrigado. I opened my conference to whatever question, projects that you want to talk more about it, whatever thing that you are interested. Go. Now, I'm tired. I've been talking too much. Now is your turn.
Okay, Jorge.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jorge, thank you so much for sharing everything. Sorry for these YouTube problems that still force our wonderful digital world to sometimes collapse. But hopefully this will happen more rarely now. So while we are waiting for the questions, first thing I just even wrote it down that I wanted to share with you that do you know that Miro is an app from Russia? Coming from Russia.
I didn't know that. Great. I love it.
Yeah.
So I love more even the Russians.
Yeah. The developers are from Russia. So, and they went huge during pandemics. So now, yeah. So we also love this app and use it. Okay. While we are still waiting for the, I suggest that we repeat our homework while people are thinking of their questions. Or maybe they are thinking about life already and not posting questions at all. So could you please open this slide with our contest?
Yes.
And it's, thanks. So, and also while while I will be sharing again the rules of the contest. I think there's a good question that is, from my experience, is very interesting to our students. Would you share some inspiring books that you've read recently? And what is your top 3 books of 2020, or inspirational reading if it's not books? So could you think of this while I can talk a bit about the contest, this mood boards we are asking to, and you have, while I talk, you have time to think about this and maybe even write down so that because we always want to. Okay, so could you share the screen with this
sure.
slide? Yeah. Okay, so I see the questions are coming also. So let's wait for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
So for the contest, again, while you are sharing the slide with us, I will start the saying, what do you think, by the way? So we ask people to do the mood boards. What do you think the mood boards after this lecture could be? Should this be an idea of some new product or an upgrade to an existing, or what do you think? Because it's a bit difficult to think of how do we share our thoughts on this lecture.
So I will not give you the answer. The answer has been from this client called N3N that I was talking. They are from South Korea, okay? And I think it's the best mood board I've ever seen, and I think it's the best client in terms of, imagine if the client helped you to do the mood board. They proposed, because they was in South Korea and we was in Barcelona, he said, hey, why we don't, instead to make a mood board, let's make a Pinterest or a Flickr. So we choose which one to use, and suddenly we decided that was the mood board. No, so that's the new way to think in the 21st century. That doesn't mean that everything must be digital. I mean, and that's something that I would love the young generations understand. No, I mean, for example, if you see the presentation I've been doing, you can see so many digital things, but at the end there are so many things. We've been doing motorbikes that are dirty and physical. We've been doing apps. We've been doing a cardboard. So we need to be really transversal. It's not anymore about must be a digital format. Sometimes it needs to be a digital format, but sometimes maybe a mood board can be, as I still do, sketchbooks that I have, for example, a Vicious that I share with all of you guys. That is always that I see something interesting in paper, a flyer or something, I cut it and I put it in my backpack. Then I put it in a plastic bag from those that you put in the fridge, and I put all the pieces of paper there. And you know what I do? When I travel, when I take a plane, I pick up my physical analogic sketchbook and I still glue things, really, really old style. But at the same time, for a project, I have my Pinterest, Instagram, Flickr, whatever of those formats, and we do a mood board in the same way. And sometimes what I need to do is only just check my old sketchbooks, first of all, as a research, make pictures, and share in Instagram. Okay? So that should be my answer for mood board.
Okay, that's very, very challenging. Okay, I understood that it's really challenging. Yeah, okay, we have to be creative.
Yeah, I mean, it must be physical as a sketch, and I have one here. I mean, imagine, I can show you then if you want. I have my sketchbook here in my hand. But at the same time, I have the digital mood board. So it must be analogic and digital. That's a big challenge, as you said, as a challenge of 21st century. For example, for a sketchbook and other things.
Okay, so we didn't share the slides with the contest yet, but I see other questions popping up. Are you going to show us your sketchbook?
I was thinking if this, if you, of course, I mean, look.
Yeah, that's really
a second, no compartir. So, for example, I mean, I still have sketchbooks here where I still sketch my drawings, no, as you see, and I always still sketch, making sketches, but at the same time, I have my digital versions, and I have my The same, for example, as you see here. This is a diagram that I was designing.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the questions Ekaterina is asking us. What's behind you? What's on the scheme? So could you tell us more?
Well, this is the diagram of how we make innovation for companies. So you begin here, company and ID, and different ways to interact. It's like a systemic graphic organization, no? But the nice thing is that I was doing this version, then I was correcting analogically, but then at the same time we have in Miro where we interact with the clients, no? So at the end it's like, is it Miro, is it my wall, is it graphic, I can put it in the slide, so are all the formats, no? So this is how we manage, and this is our department for tailor-made courses. Here is where the students make practice. Then here is the academic part, and these are the different labs where I interact here, and where we have here our incubator, no? So it was how to design, and this was coming from a sketch in my sketchbook, then we passed to graphic, then from graphic we passed to web design, and from web design we passed to Miro, no? So these are the different formats. I know it's difficult, of course, and I would love to say to students, hey guys, I'm not a web designer. So when I need to do those things, I need a team. I mean, I'm just a small part of it. I mean, not, imagine that some of the people call me the physical guy. Well, sometimes I'm physical because that's my background, but you need to be open to, it's not anymore versus, no, it's more important physical than, no, it's more important web than books. No, it's important books, Instagram, all the formats.
Okay, so there are several tricky questions now. First, yeah. So how do we connect online and offline during pandemics, especially for preschoolers? I agree, totally agree with Julia, who asked these questions because in Russian preschoolers, kids under 6, they need like real communication, and they can't sit a lot before screen, and parents are working distantly. So what's innovative idea? I think that's the question. What do we do with preschoolers?
Of course, I think nobody have the answer. For example, we are right now we have something really interesting. It's called a fusion point. I will show you, because right now we are talking about this item. So if you want a student, be in contact, and I will answer you. We have this special project called a fusion point, and where we have young students from the school of business. We have young guys from telecom engineers, okay, and we have ID designers. This is the platform about from 3 completely different schools: engineers, telecom engineers, MBA, business design, business managers, and graphic designers and product designers working about this. And what I will tell you is that what I feel is more and more the schools, for example, needs to send sketchbooks to the student, to the preschool guys, to don't make any more homeworks like in the computer. If you ask a young guy to be in front of a computer with a video conference, talking with people, and then making the homework in computer again, they will be full. So they don't want to do that. So for example, what I recommend, for example, is let's return to do sketchbooks. I mean, you know my boy, 4 years old. I teach in the pandemic how to make a collage.
Okay.
He loved to make collage, and he didn't know how to do it before. But I show him to take papers and glue. Wow, that can be the way to motivate young guys. And then when he will be all day without the computer will be a moment of wow. And then he will be interacting with his friends because he was not able to see. But if you force a guy to be 8 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours in front of a computer, they are full. So that may be the connection. No, let's be really, really more analogic and return to make things by hand and make pictures and share it, and then only the moments of socializing will be in the computer. I think that can be a good answer. But I think was Julia the name. I propose you that when we will make the Fusion Point presentation, because we are working right now in that issue, I invite you and you can listen online. The presentation we will do about how to to propose for preschool new instruments.
Okay, fusion point. So I've just put it in our chat. Okay.
And of course, I will share to you through you, Katarina, when we will make the presentation in December. This fusion point basically is a program of 3 universities together. We've been talking the other day, you and me, how we can manage, interact in new ways, and this can be a good starting point. It's really interesting. And it's, imagine students. I have students from engineer, from business, and from design, and we are 3 teachers at the same time. It's really challenging, no? Imagine to teach an engineer. I don't know if there are engineers in the room, but or imagine one of those ego business guys to teach, and I'm the teacher of somebody that arrives with his tie. He's more serious than me. It's like, excuse me, teacher. Like, hello, I'm informal, I'm designer. So that's a nice thing about the 21st century.
Okay, thank you so much. Julia says thank you, yeah, also. So which frameworks for checking your ideas, for valuing your ideas, are you using the most?
Well, I will answer with part of my presentation if you want. And is this one. 1 second. We call the life cycle, okay? Basically it's this. And it's an instrument that we call the life cycle innovation, where through different, techniques, we've been, sorry, I'm amplifying and it's not easy to see. In fact, I can open them. So we've been designing certain instruments. If you want, we can go in with other questions, and then in parallel, I will open Miro to show you certain elements that we are designing. Okay? Sorry, I'm amplifying. Sorry. Okay. So 1 second. I will share a Miro class that I've been doing, and I'm doing. 1 second. And let's see. Look. This is on real time. I mean, it's mind map ideation. I think I'm here. Here we go. These are some formats of information that we validate our ideas. Some of them are ours. Some of them are from other platforms. Okay, but basically, I put you some examples. This one is designed by us, and it's simple. It's make a storyboard of the problem. I recommend you make a storyboard of the problem and then make a storyboard of the solution. But giving a really important to these 3 elements. Users, whatever kind of user is. Environment, whatever environment. That means physical, interior, a home, a center of a city, a digital environment, a 3-dimensional environment, the laptop. Okay, and then the product or the service that you are designing. This triangle, we work a lot about this. This is a way how we validate. But another instrument that I don't know if you know, whoops, sorry, I was moving the thing that should not be moved, is the business model canvas. I recommend you a lot to use it to understand even the business point of view. And this that is called the value proposition canvas. So some of them are designed by us. Some of them are designed by other people. These are, for example, the 4 instruments that we use at the beginning of our validation classes, okay? Especially mine. This is the instruments here you see are designed by me. And these 2 are designed by other people. This is an example of, this is the class. And look, that's another thing that I love is use the traffic lighter always. Ask the opinion of people. And always there is people that is really critic, and there is always people that is really positive. So ask everyone that your whole class to give you, and this is a good thing about digital, it's anonymous. So ask all of them to give you a post-it in red, post-it in yellow, and post-it in green to give you instruments. And you know, Miro help you with this, no? So you can take the green, take the orange, and take the red, and suddenly you have 20 reds, 20 greens, and 20 yellows to improve your idea. Only working with your partners, let's imagine in your class is 20, is a really good way to interact and to validate your idea.
Okay, thank you. That was really exciting, like sharing the screen and seeing your sketchbook.
Well, I think that's the dynamic, no, of the innovation, what I call the and, no? I mean, I'm sure if somebody asks us, how was your webinar conference? Like, well, was in a sketch, but there was a Miro, and there was in YouTube, and there was a PDF, and there was in a person by person, and but it was good. Yes, that's the good important thing, no? Like these emojis that I see here, like saying, okay, that's good.
Okay, so I don't see any questions now, but I return to my question about good readings of 2020 that you could share with us, not necessarily books, but books would also be great. What were your most interesting openings of 2020?
Okay, well, I don't know if this was from this year, but I recommend you, I will put in the chat if you want here, and then you can, the book is, is called Tactile. Okay, I don't know if anyone knows, it's a book.
Okay.
And well, look, we can do it in the internet, no? So we can put, the book is called Tactile book. Whoa, it's not here. Books. This is the book. I recommend you. Okay. Another one is called, I don't remember what's the name exactly, but it's called Big Data Postcards or something like this. Let's see. Big Data Postcards. It's about two graphic designers. So sorry, let's see if I'm able to find that they send postcards, real postcards, by a normal traditional postcards. Send it by designers. Let's see. I remember which is the name. This Dear Data. Sorry. So I share the screen. Sorry. And I think it's always about this item of maybe that I'm interested in, of course, sometimes influence, no? Dear Data is a book, really interesting, where two graphic designers, I think they take an issue every day and they design it. And then they put it and print it, or they do it by computer or whatever, but they put in a kind of a real physical postcard and they send it to the other partner, okay?
Okay, so it's like book of letters, exchange of letters.
Yeah, but about big data, I mean, how you visualize data, no? So it's really new, no? So Dear Data, let's see, and the graphics are not only made by hand. I mean, can be inside there are images of you can see. I mean,
oh yeah.
Imagine, no? Everything can be expressed. Imagine this one here, no? It's amazing, and how they transform. Another thing that I love in this point is not a book, but I recommend you. It's called Visual Complexity. It's a web about how visualize data. And there are millions. Imagine how many pages and formats and of visualizations. I'm really interested in big data, but in terms of open the idea of big data. No, it's not only this virtual, can be the book before Dear Data. And other formats. And the last book that I'm really interested in, because I work a lot about space, is this book called Tactile Book. Let's see if there are two versions of the book already. So there is a Tactile is like the first one and the page one, that is how to make graphic design in terms of space. So how you can make like a visual effects and those things, but in physical. Let's see. No, well, there's no pages inside of the book. Sorry. So these are the three recommendations that I propose in terms of well, this idea of course, I think the majority of the students that are listening are more from visual, no, careers and those things. So maybe that should be three reference that I think can be interesting. I will put you here if you want to share with them. So it's Tactile book.
I'm already sharing. So it's Virtual Complexity.
Data book and Visual Complexity. I think it was .com, no? Visual Complexity.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Wrote it down. Thank you so much.
So, well, I hope That this is the curious thing about this pandemic. Now that in general, I've been with Olga in St. Petersburg. I've been in Ekaterinburg in the Innoprom for 3 years. And today, in a normal situation, maybe I was in Moscow, no, sharing this thing. I hope there was a lot of people listening. Sometimes I feel that I'm here alone with you suddenly making a coffee, but I'm sure there is so many people behind us.
No. There are lots of people and lots of thank yous and pluses, and because we have 4 pages of streaming, so everywhere there are pluses and thank yous and these things like this. Yeah,
thanks for them. Thanks for listening them. And always I said it's amazing when somebody in this pandemic find the moment to be in front of a computer to listen somebody on the other side, no?
And also we thank you for finding time for sharing inspiration. Mostly it's inspiration for us, I would say. And that's really, I think, priceless. And maybe one of the benefits of the pandemics that now we are able to communicate people with all around the world and share your motivation and inspiration and stories. So thank you so much for the lecture. I hope we will be seeing each other soon, and we will be thinking of something nice and creative for Skillbox. And I'm wishing everyone a very good evening. And thank you so much, Jorge, and see you soon.
Okay, spasibo, and I see you as... I would love to see finally Skillbox in real in Moscow. I'm curious to know this incredible university that I saw from internet, and will be a pleasure to see some of these young guys that was listening in real, and enjoy.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.